Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ratnika and this is Natural Vibrations. Um, I wanted to start a series called Tales from the Universe. I did post about this on my Facebook page, but I wanted to also put it up on YouTube. We all manifest things in our lives, and I did a video on how to manifest stuff. And I know a lot of people don't really believe that you can manifest big things. We do in principle believe, but we don't actually believe. So I want to do Tales from the Universe as a way of showing stories or talking about things that I have manifested over the years. And some of them are really small and some of them are big, just so you can understand how things are possible so that you don't feel like something is difficult to manifest or whatever. So let me start off by something that happened last week. I had gone to another city in India for a conference, and usually I always get an aisle seat. My plan is to get an aisle seat, and then I ask the universe, simple, like, hey universe, can you make sure the middle seat is empty so that I can stretch out? Economy, you can't exactly stretch out even if you're on the aisle. So I always ask for that. Going from my city to that city, from Delhi to Bombay, I arrived early. It was a 4 a.m. flight, so I figured it would be empty, but it was packed. And I asked them for an aisle. I couldn't check in, I couldn't pre-check in, and they told me that there was no aisle. There were only middle seats. So, and I'd already done like, hey universe, get me an aisle, but I didn't get that. And I was like, okay, it's, now I could have been really upset, but I was like, all right, fine. I don't have it. Just hope for the best. And I got this middle seat. And, we went to security, got onto the plane, sat down in the middle seat. Somebody else came on the aisle. And I was just waiting for the door to shut because the person at the window hadn't come. Now, when I was checking in, I did ask them, do you have a window seat? Do you have an aisle? And they're like, no, we only have middle seats available. So I was like, okay. Waited, and then they shut the door. And it turned out that the person who had got the window never showed up. So I moved there. So not only did I get a window, I got the middle seat free. Now, this is something so small, but think about it. And this happens to me all the time. I always manifest seats. But how is it that when you ask them for a window or an aisle, they give me a middle seat saying that both the seats next to me are full and the person doesn't show up? How is that even possible? So that's just another, little small manifestation story. But now let me tell you what happened on the way back. This is the best thing. This will tell you how the universe works in weird ways, and we can't always understand what the story is. So on the way back, there was a huge storm in Bombay, and it was going to be raining for 3 days, and it was, there were high tide, and things were rough. Surprisingly, my plane, we went boarded on time, and we were sitting in the airline, but the flight wasn't taking off. So we're like, what's going on? They tell us that the pilot of the plane hadn't landed from his previous flight because of the storm. So we were waiting for like an hour and a half in the flight. Now, before I boarded, again, I did this time I had got myself an aisle, but I did tell the universe, like, please give me the middle seat free or give me a whole row so I can sleep, one of the two. I don't want to be mean, but seriously, the biggest, heaviest man showed up, and he sat in the middle seat. And I don't want to be mean, but it's just that he took up most of my seat as well. And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna suck. But I was like, can't do anything, screw it. I put on my iPad, put on a movie. I think I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy. So I just started watching a movie, and we waited for the flight to take off. 1.5 hours later, the pilot showed up. We were like, all right, cool, we can leave. The pilot's like, all right, let's go, we're gonna leave. And as we start moving, he's like, wait, we can't move. Because of the storm, another airline, which was landing or was taking off or something, skidded off the runway and is stuck in the mud off the runway, just off the runway, and we can't take off. Then he informs us that the airline had to be towed and the flight had to, the runway was shut for like 2 days. So like, Okay, it's like at this time, my flight was supposed to leave at 9. It was 11 o'clock at night. I was just like, okay, I really need to get back. I have readings, I have sessions. So I tell the universe, I'm like, universe, either either please make a flight take off, all right? And then there were people around me who were getting like really hassled because the airport was trying to open the other runways, but one of them has zero visibility and the other one had high tailwinds, so it didn't look positive. But they weren't canceling the flight because there were like 16 planes or flights before us that had to take off, including international flights. So they would all have to give us like vouchers and stuff like that, which they didn't want to do because it's domestic, budget airlines. People around us, everybody got up. Some people were like, we were waiting for a while, and this is around like 12:01. Everybody's like, the flight's not going to take off, I'm going to get off. So a couple of people got their bags and they got off. They're like, you know what, we live in Bombay, we don't want to go, we'll take another flight some other day. There were some people who were basically around me. Everybody was talking about how the pilot and the crew are going to go overtime and they can't fly after being awake for a certain amount of time or something like that. So it's not going to happen, and it looks like we're not going to leave. And one of them even told me, why aren't you getting up and doing something? And I'm like, just sit down and just be patient, hope it will work out. But they were telling me, if you don't make a move, nothing is going to happen. They were just, everybody's just getting riled up. I asked the universe because I was thinking maybe I will get off, but these people had handbags and my bag was checked in. And then I realized, since it's pouring rain, where the hell would I go? Even if I tried to get a hotel, I would have to go outside the airport, and there were no cabs because it was pouring, it was like flooding, it was a bad scene. So I was like, okay, universe, either you get me my bag and a hotel, or you make me take off safely because I don't want to like take off and die. So that's what I asked the universe, and everybody around me was getting pissed off, and I kept telling them, it'll all work out. It'll all work out. Just be patient. It'll all work out. And I continue to watch some movies on my iPad. The pilot, after a couple of hours sitting there, we were sitting there for a while, tells us that one runway is open and a couple of the other airlines are about to take off. Then he tells us that one of the airlines, the first one, said it was too dangerous and refused to take off, and that airline's flights were cancelled. So that's not happening. So we're like, okay, we're screwed. We're not leaving. Everybody was getting antsy, and I kept going, no, just be patient. And I kept telling universe, either get me my bag and my hotel room or get me to take off safely. And I just like, you know what, I trust you, I know you got my back. And I just sort of like just continue to watch my movie. I didn't stress too much about it. What was the point, Then everybody around me was getting pissed off. But randomly, this is at 1 o'clock at night. We've been sitting in the plane from like 8:30, quarter to 9 to 1. The pilot says another runway is opened up. It seems to work. Some of the flights are taking off, so we're gonna go. Everybody sit down, because some people are left, but you can't like go and come back. So everybody's just hanging around. People started coming back to their seat, including that uncle who was like being mean to me and like, you should make a move. They all came back, but the guy next to me never came back, and he had apparently gotten off and said he didn't want to take this flight. He wanted to go home. So when everybody came back, I was telling the guy sitting next to me, I'm like, see, I told you we were going to take off. And not only that, I wanted a middle seat free, and I got that. So the storm, the delay in flight, everything had to happen so I could get the middle seat free. So now, I mean, fine, but I didn't say don't delay me. I just said I want the middle seat free and I want to go home. I got that. Now, this is just an example of how we always get what we want, but sometimes it takes a very random route. Leaving 5 hours later was better than not leaving at all, honestly, because the next day all the flights were canceled. So to me, I still think it's a win-win. So at the end of the day, if you don't see things manifesting in your life right now, you got to keep holding on to the faith and just detaching and knowing that whatever has to happen will happen for your highest good. If I had kept worrying like everybody else and kept fussing about it, maybe it wouldn't have happened the way it did. But I distracted myself and watched a movie, because what was the point of getting stressed out? Whatever has to happen will happen. I've asked the universe. It's like putting an order into Amazon. When you put in an order, do you keep checking your mailbox? Has it come? Has it come? No, you know it's going to come when it's going to come. And that's how making an intention or putting out an intention to the universe is like putting an order into Amazon. You ask, you know it's going to come, and you detach and you trust that it's going to be for your highest good. So this was just another little story that happened to me last week, and I'll continue to give you more. I would love to hear some feedback. Take care. Bye.